Taking a few calls in here. Guys have come at us with some questions about how can I add maybe 10 or 20 cents, back to my corn or bean price. And really, I got to tell you, when we get that call, we kind of read between the lines. And what we really hear is, hey, I'm a little bit disappointed with my sale. Help me make it better. And it's not a bad thing, but what we really want to do is look at the mindset and really discuss the difference between what we looked at, a couple weeks ago with re-ownership, and then compare that to a speculative trade and how we need to go about processing this, from a mental standpoint and why we're doing something. So keep in mind as we go through this information, everything is for education and example purposes. Make sure that you guys know and understand your own risk tolerance as we go through the presentation. Like we said, let's compare trading versus re-owning. The mindset behind why we're doing a position matters. Why are you putting something on? A couple weeks ago, we talked about re-ownership. This is a business decision. That's the mindset we got behind it. We compared the cost of commercial storage as well as the downside risk versus going to a fixed risk position with a call, and what are the benefits, advantages, and disadvantages of that. At the end of the day, the attitude there wasn't so much about whether the market goes up and the call makes money or not. It was that this is a better economic decision for my farm and my business to pull my dollars together, keep myself from getting run over, and be a participant in the market if it goes higher. Now, when we look at the market from a trading or a speculative decision, a lot of times what we want to look for is chart patterns or fundamental or macroeconomic environments that support our thesis, like if we want to be long. We need to look at the risk to reward. How much are we going to risk if we're buying futures? Where's our stop loss going to be? What's our upside target going to be? Like I said, a lot of times when we get these calls, hey, I want to pull 20 to 30 cents out of the market, that's generally a recipe for disaster. Guys are just getting in, they have no plan. A better way to come at this is, look, are we at an area of maybe support, or I think that there's a big macro fundamental news event that's going to happen that I want to get long. Here's the amount of risk I'm willing to put into this place, and then here's my targets to exit the position. That's a lot different and probably a better attitude to have if you're looking at a speculative trade. So let's just take a quick step back. Here's your daily January bean chart going back to the first of the year. And when we get a call and we want to look at this from a speculative standpoint to the long side, we got to just ask ourselves, is there anything bullish on this chart? And the answer is no. We've been in a downtrend. At best right now, we're trying to form some sort of near-term low, if you will, and set up maybe a range-bound trade. So yeah, you could argue the lows are near 970 on January. If you wanted to buy there and put a stop in place and risk it, try and target 10, you could do something like that. But ultimately for us, there's nothing out there that says, hey, we should be getting long the bean market from a risk to reward standpoint that makes sense. So with that in mind, why are you getting into a position? Keep this is your number one question. Are you doing it as a business decision like we were talking in re-ownership? Have you weighed the costs, the pros and the cons? Again, if that position goes worthless, we've got the attitude of that's okay. Our whole point of putting it in place was it was a better value for our dollar than paying commercial storage. If you're coming in for a speculative position, are you willing to give up this money? Are you willing to take a bad sale and make it worse if it doesn't go in your favor? Those are the kind of things you got to look at. And let's just be honest with yourself. I'm not doing this because I'm weighing against the pros and cons of storage. I just want to try and make money in the market, and that's fine. But let's just have a plan in place. So then, what is your risk? That's probably the next most important question, because again, at the end of the day, if you don't have any money to play with, it's hard to play, right? So we want to keep from getting run over. When we're looking at the re-ownership things, we talked about calls. Those are a fixed risk position. Again, good decision from farming and a risk management. When we go over to the spec side of things, if you're doing futures, you probably should be using a stop loss. The best traders in the world use them. We like them. We think it's a good idea as well. And then you can kind of go at this as, what is your goal? When we're talking about storage, remember, our goal was to just find a better way to market our grain, budget our dollars, and we were okay if this thing goes useless, because the whole point was it was a better economic value than commercial storage. When we're looking at this from a spec standpoint, what are your targets? Are you targeting 10? Are you targeting 11? If you think that the bean market is overstated by 400 million bushels and that we really have we're going to 13, then that's fine. But know what your target and know what your goal is, and at the same time, make sure you have your risk parameters set up. This is how we become better marketers. We always have to ask ourselves, why are we getting something in place? And then can we live with the results at the end of the day? If you have questions, feel free to reach out to us. We're more than happy to help. As always, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. We appreciate you tuning in, and we always enjoy making the content for you.